I'm a multimedia journalist, and you're about to see 3 of my favorite stories. The first focuses on some complex scientific research that I try to tell in a way everyone can understand. The second is a breaking news story that I shot on a short turnaround. My final story focuses on how a University of Iowa student's life was changed in a very personal way when she skyrocketed to internet fame. A version of my story was featured on TV newscasts and was picked up by the Huffington Post, Deadspin, New York Daily News, and a handful of other sites worldwide. It received roughly 130,000 views on YouTube. The exposure and feedback online helped me better understand, good and bad, what gets people talking. Each of these stories taught me something new about how to tell a compelling story and the type and quality of reporting viewers demand to see. I'm Melissa Dawkins. Thank you very much for your time. What can snails tell us about who we are and where we come from?
We're learning about why sex is important.
Researchers at the University of Iowa are studying the DNA and habits of a special species of snail in order to better understand why some living things choose mates while others reproduce asexually by cloning their own DNA. These snails are special because they do both. At the root of this big project, there's actually some really little critters. Most of the snails, like this little black dot I'm pointing to, are only 3 to 4 millimeters each.
This brooding diploid against itself.
Researchers are building an entire genome for this species of snail. Think of a genome as a roadmap to all the hereditary information that defines the characteristics of an individual organism.
We're sequencing a bunch of different mitochondrial genomes and then analyzing whether asexuals or sexuals have more harmful mutations in them.
Though some members of the public have questioned the relevance of the project, Niemann says the discoveries her team is making have some significant implications.
We cannot predict the importance of basic science in the future.
Among numerous other findings, Niemann and her team recently discovered that female asexual snails may actually produce fertile male offspring. This is surprising because female asexuals, by definition, should only create replicas of themselves.
What we had presumed to be a completely impenetrable genetic barrier between sexuals and asexuals might actually be more porous than we thought.
Each discovery, like this one, carries along with it a host of new unanswered questions as Niemann and her students continue looking for answers to an age-old mystery. This all in hopes that these little snails hold some big answers about invasive species, genetics, disease, and why we reproduce the way we do. Melissa Dawkins, Daily Iowan TV. This is a scene residents on the 900 block of Weber Street woke up to this morning after a water main break. This incident is the latest in a series of pipe breakages crews have responded to recently.
The gentleman down below us here had one yesterday afternoon. I had 7 of them last week between Sunday and Wednesday.
Ground shifting typically causes pipes like this one to break across the circumference of the pipe, like, for example, a twig snapping.
Yeah, we prefer these. They're a quick fix usually if there's not too many utilities in the under right where we're digging.
Crews finished up bandaging and sealing the broken pipe around 9:30 this morning. As you can see behind me, crews opened up the fire hydrants to flush out the system, so they say water should be safe for residents. Crews will be back tomorrow to recheck water composition levels and ensure it's still safe for consumption. Melissa Dawkins, Daily Iowan TV.
Monday night was the first news broadcast I watched on it, so that was pretty devastating.
After that first newscast detailing Samantha Gowdy's public intox arrest and growing fame on Twitter as Vodka Sam, she was bombarded with phone calls, endorsement offers, and interview requests. But she didn't want any of it.
I care about my life. I could have easily just taken this opportunity and ran with it and been Vodka Sam my entire life. But that's not why I came to college. I didn't come to college to drink and be Vodka Sam. In the moment, I was tweeting from jail because my friends follow me on Twitter, not like the entire nation. I was completely embarrassed just of the whole situation. I hated going to class. I've struggled with depression, so I kind of went into a depression for a little bit. I called my parents a lot.
I met up with Samantha's family here in Burlington, Iowa, her hometown. Samantha's parents told me that watching her spiral into an eating disorder in 2012 was one of the hardest things they've ever gone through. Samantha went into intensive inpatient treatment and was hospitalized for 3 months.
To have your own child face something like this is just, it's tough.
It was
When she got so bad, we just had to turn her over to the hospital and let them help her.
Because I used to, for the longest time, think that I was just failing. And, like, I couldn't eat. I know what people that are going through it think and how it's hard to, like, ask for help. And I just want to help people through that process.
Samantha graduates in May and plans to go to graduate school for social work to help those struggling with disabilities and other challenges.
Most people who are any good at that at all have lived it.
I want to be, like, happy. You know, money doesn't make happiness. Like, you just have to be happy, and that's what I want to be.
I'm just really proud of how she's handled the whole situation.
That takes a lot. That really does, to step up and talk about, you know, some of the worst times of your life.
It's like I still struggle with my eating disorder. I struggle with depression, and I'm still kind of working my way out of this mess. So I feel like I'll get there, though.
Do you see a light at the end of the tunnel?
Yeah, some days I don't, but there is one.
Melissa Dawkins, Daily Iowan TV.